we're trying to protect the kids by not making it overly complex, right? You want to teach them how to drive, didn't want to bother them with the kind of gas and where you get gas and where you put the gas in, how you open the gas. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want to tell them about, where to park the car and parking tickets or rules of the road even. Okay, most teens when they first learn to drive are so focused on just the driving aspect, they can't deal with like directions. Like, man, I got to look at the sign. Okay, I'll never forget. It was when my son was learning to drive. He was watching the navigation panel, which had the map on it, and I said, "What are you doing?" He was literally driving, thinking that looking at it, he thought it was a video game. He's looking at the screen, saying, "Oh, the arrow says go this way." I'm like, "No, no, no! You've got to look out the front of the car. You got to look where you're going. You can't drive based on that screen. Okay, this is not a video game. Okay, but so simple things like this." And he's like, "Oh, so there's so many things we take for granted." And so we think we want to protect the kids from the details, like in subtraction. We're not going to tell them that, in fact, when you say 8 minus 5, well, 8 is called the minuend, and 5 is called the subtrahend. 3 is called the difference. And oh my God, who knows those things? But it turns out we try to protect them from details they don't know. But the smartest kids realize it makes no sense. The kids that don't care as much, that simply do what they're told, they can get, and that's what really destroys the smart kids. The smart kids who know they're thinking better and who understand better and are asking better questions, see other kids who are not nearly as capable as them getting an A in math, and they're struggling, and that really destroys their ability to do math. Then they say, "Oh, because people don't like doing things they can't do, they're not good at." And it's always the smartest kids over and over again. It's the smartest kids that can't do math and that struggle. And once you explain to them what's going on and answer their questions, it's those kids that go from failure, from zero, all the way from zero and failure, all the way to 100. My son was one of those. I do it over and over again. The kids who hate math the most, the kids who are failing and getting a zero. My son said, "Dad, listen, math is the last class of the day. I'm exhausted. It means nothing. It makes no sense." I just put my head down. He was getting a zero, absolute zero, not an F, but a zero. And one day he said, "Dad, you teach me math." I said, "Oh my, okay, I'll teach you math. Why? What happened?" I said, "Well, the girls in school told me." It's always the social environment, the social friends said, "Hey, if you don't at least learn math, you won't be allowed to come back next year and hang out with us." And that was his motivation. But what happened? He was doing algebra. Literally 2 hours one day, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Went from zero to the next test. He got a 96. The principal, the head of school, called me in tears. "Your son got the highest mark in the math test." But the revelations when so many students, as one of my students now said, she said, "I realize I'm not as dumb as I thought." I want to cry. Because it's always the smartest kids who are the most astute, the most questioning, who think they can't do it. And once they realize they can, it opens up the whole world. They're entirely new people. So let's leave it alone for now. And looking forward, and we'll go forward. Tomorrow we'll do some videos, some actual detailed videos, instruction videos that actually explain some of these concepts. But this is right now for the parents that don't want to learn the math, don't need to learn the math, but need to understand how they can help their kids with math.